It began in the quiet town of Black Hollow, nestled deep within the fog-laden woods, a place where the trees whispered secrets to the wind, and the moon rarely showed its face. The townsfolk were simple, living off the land and avoiding the deeper parts of the forest, where ancient legends spoke of things best left undisturbed. One such legend was that of the Headless One, a creature of nightmares. It roamed the woods at night, its massive, hulking form barely human. It had no head, yet it moved with unnatural awareness, sensing the presence of any who dared to trespass in its domain. Some claimed to have seen it in the distance, a towering silhouette against the trees, with gnarled, clawed hands and a body covered in tattered, blood-stained rags. Others whispered of an eerie sound that accompanied it, a raspy, guttural whisper, as though the wind itself carried its tormented voice. For years, the legend was nothing more than a cautionary tale told to keep children from wandering too far. But all that changed on a cold October night. Young Daniel Mercer, a reckless and skeptical youth, had laughed at the stories. Superstitious nonsense, he scoffed, daring his friends to join him in proving the legend false. Armed with lanterns and bravado, they ventured into the forbidden woods. Hours passed, and laughter turned to unease. The deeper they went, the more the forest seemed to change, twisting shadows, unnatural silence, the distant rustling of unseen things. Then came the whisper, a low, rasping sound that sent ice through their veins. It drifted through the trees, circling them, closing in, one by one. The lanterns flickered and died. Panic seized them, and they ran. But Daniel, in his terror, tripped and fell into a gully. His friends never found him. The town searched for days. They found only his lantern, shattered. His footprints ended abruptly, as though he had vanished into thin air. No blood, no struggle, just gone. The disappearances continued. A hunter, a traveling merchant, a pair of lost hikers, all vanished without a trace. And with each new victim, the whispers grew louder, creeping ever closer to the town itself. One fateful night, a group of townsfolk, armed with torches and weapons, decided to hunt the creature. They ventured into the woods, their determination wavering as the darkness swallowed them whole. Then, the whispers rose into an agonized crescendo. Shadows flickered wildly, screams echoed through the trees. Only one man returned, his face contorted in horror. His hair turned stark white. He spoke only a single phrase before collapsing, "It sees without eyes." Terrified, the townsfolk sought answers in their oldest records. They spoke of a man, Elias Grayson, a feared executioner from centuries past, accused of atrocities beyond his duty. He was sentenced to death by beheading. But as his head fell, he cursed the town, vowing vengeance upon all who dwelled there. The curse gave birth to the Headless One. Desperate to break the cycle, the town elder proposed a ritual, an ancient rite to bind the creature forever. But it required a sacrifice, someone willing to face the monster and seal its fate. A grim silence fell over the town. Then, one night, the whispers reached the town square. The people barricaded themselves indoors. But one man, the blacksmith, took up his hammer and stepped outside. He had lost his son to the beast. He would not cower any longer. The town watched from their windows as the blacksmith disappeared into the mist. The whispering intensified, swirling around him like a storm. Then, a deafening silence. What happened that night is still debated. Some say he fought bravely. Others claim he never stood a chance. But by dawn, the whispers had ceased. The town found only his hammer, lying in the dirt. Then came the final horror, the blacksmith's headless body, standing at the edge of the forest, pointing towards the town. Yet, the nightmare did not end there. The blacksmith's body vanished the next night, only for strange footprints to be found leading into town. The whispers returned, louder and more persistent, echoing from the very walls of homes. A new terror spread. The Headless One was no longer confined to the forest. People began disappearing from their beds, leaving only torn blankets and clawed wooden floors. Desperate, a group of warriors and scholars set out to uncover the truth. They ventured into the deepest part of the cursed woods, where the trees bled black sap and the air was thick with unseen eyes. In a clearing, they discovered an ancient altar, covered in symbols no human should ever read. At its center lay a grotesque skull, pulsating with an eerie glow. As they approached, the whispers erupted into screams, and the headless one emerged, more monstrous than ever, his form shifting and twisting as if it absorbed the fears of those who beheld it. A battle ensued, blades against claws, light against darkness. One by one, the warriors fell, until only the scholar remained. In his final breath, he shattered the skull, and with it, the beast let out a deafening wail before vanishing into the shadows. But the scholar knew the truth: such evil cannot be destroyed, only delayed. The storm returned, but this time, the whispers did not just linger in the town, they seeped into the dreams of the living. Nightmares plagued the townsfolk, each vision showing them glimpses of the headless one growing stronger, its presence spreading beyond the woods. A widow woke up screaming one night, claw marks etched into her skin though she had never left her bed. The town's children began speaking in hushed tones to invisible figures, their eyes vacant and glassy. A search party sent into the woods found a mass grave of skeletal remains, each skull missing, as though something had stolen them for an unknown ritual. The deeper they searched, the darker the forest became, bending and twisting as if alive. The mayor's son vanished without a trace, his last words whispered to his mother, "He is calling me." The town's livestock was found slaughtered in grotesque formations, symbols drawn in blood that no one could understand. A strange, hooded figure appeared at the edge of the forest, chanting in an ancient tongue. When confronted, he turned to dust, leaving behind only a note that read, "The cycle cannot be broken." A priest from a distant land arrived, claiming to know how to end the curse. That night, he was found crucified upside down on the town's church, his eyes missing, his lips sewn shut. Lightning struck the town square, revealing a new figure, a headless being, different from the original, standing motionless until it suddenly turned and walked towards the town. Black Hollow was no longer fighting a single monster, it was fighting something far greater. A force that had been waiting, watching, and now, it was ready to claim them all. And in the wind, the whispers continued, "Where is my head?